They thought strength was loud. They thought power was obvious. They thought intelligence always announces itself. But real dominance moves in silence. Real control breathes calm, and the sharpest mind never needs to raise its voice. You did not rush. You did not panic. You watched, you learned. You waited, and while they were busy, underestimating you, you were mapping every step, every habit, every weakness. This is not arrogance. This is awareness. This is what happens when discipline meets patience, and patience meets vision, and vision refuses to blink. Before this goes any further, let me speak to you directly. If these words are hitting something deep inside you, if this feels like it is describing a version of you that you rarely talk about, then stay with me till the end. And if you want more of this energy, more of this truth, more of this fuel, then like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment, not for me, but for yourself. Because when you engage, you make a promise that you are done playing small and ready to sharpen what already scares people about you. They never saw it coming because they were too busy being predictable. They moved on. Patterns. They spoke on impulse. They reacted on emotion. You moved on intention. Every time they laughed, you listened. Every time they spoke, you learned. Every time they thought, they won. You were already 3 steps ahead. This is the part they cannot process, not because it is magical, but because it requires restraint. And restraint is rare in a world addicted to instant reaction. You understood that information is power, and silence is strategy, and timing is everything. You never needed to expose them. You never needed to confront them. You never needed to prove anything, because the smartest move is letting people reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. They thought you were passive. They thought you were unaware. They thought you were slow. But what they mistook for weakness was calculation. What they mistook for calm was control. What they mistook for absence was preparation. Your mind was working when theirs was resting. Your focus was sharpening while theirs was scattered. This is where your IQ becomes cutthroat, not cruel, not reckless, but precise. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. You know when to act and when to wait. You understand human behavior better than they understand themselves. You recognize patterns before they become problems. You see motives before they turn into actions, and that ability changes everything. Because when you know the move before it happens, the outcome is already decided. They play checkers. You play something else entirely. They react. You respond. They rush you. Position yourself. They chase attention. You build leverage. And leverage is quiet. Leverage does not beg. Leverage does not explain leverage. Just exists. And when the moment comes, it shifts the entire game without noise, without drama, without warning. They look around wondering how the ground changed beneath them. And you are already gone, standing on higher ground. You studied them without judgment. You observed without emotion. You allowed them to feel comfortable enough to be careless. That is the genius of a patience. It gives others the illusion of safety. They show you who they are when they believe they are unchallenged. And you took notes, not on paper, but in memory, storing tone, patterns, habits, timing, reactions, and tells. This was never personal. This was strategic. When the moment arrived, you did not celebrate. You did not hesitate. You executed clean, simple, and final. Not to destroy, but to secure your position. Because real intelligence is not about hurting others. It is about protecting your future and ensuring that no one can manipulate, distract, or derail you. Again, they call it cold because they do not understand discipline. They call it ruthless because they do not understand boundaries. They call it lucky because they cannot accept that preparation beats chaos every time. Your last move was genius because it was invisible until it was irreversible. It did not scream. It did not threaten. It did not warn, it simply happened. And by the time they noticed, it was already too late. This is the kind of mastery that only comes from self-control, from delayed gratification, from long nights of thinking instead of reacting, from choosing growth over ego again and again. You are not driven by applause. You are driven by clarity. You do not seek validation because you know who you are and what you are capable of. And that scares people more than confidence ever could, because confidence can be faked, but clarity cannot. Clarity shows in your eyes, in your posture, in your silence, in the way you move without rushing and speak without over-explaining. They underestimated the depth of your thinking. They mistook your kindness for naivety. They thought because you did not respond immediately, you did not understand. But understanding does not require instant reply. Sometimes the most powerful response is none at all. Sometimes the strongest statement is progress. Sometimes the loudest answer is results. You outgrew the need to win arguments because you chose to win positions. You stopped correcting people because you started outpacing them. You realized that not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your plans, your energy. And that discernment changed everything. Once you stopped explaining yourself, you started executing. Once you stopped reacting, you started dominating your own path. This is not about revenge. This is about evolution. This is about refusing to be predictable in a world that thrives on patterns. This is about becoming so sharp, so aware, so grounded that manipulation no longer works on you. Pressure no longer controls you, and distractions no longer slow you down. You move with intention because you know exactly where you are going. They cannot process it because it forces them to confront their own lack of discipline, their own impulsiveness, their own shallow planning. It is easier for them to call you calculating than to admit they never calculated anything. It is easier to label you distant than to admit they never listened. It is easier to say you changed than to admit you grew. You did not become heartless. You became selective. You did not become cold. You became focused. You did not become distant. You became intentional. And that transformation is what separates leaders from followers, thinkers from talkers, architects from spectators. You are building something while they are still commenting from the sidelines. Every move you make now has weight because it is backed by thought. Every decision has direction because it is backed by vision. You are no longer reacting to the world. You are shaping your place within it, and that is why your presence feels different now, because you are not seeking approval. You are setting standards. They will replay moments in their head, trying to figure out where they misread you, where they lost control, where the balance shifted. And they will not find the answer because the shift did not happen in a moment. It happened over time, while you were learning, while you were adjusting, while you were refining yourself in silence. Your intelligence is not loud. It is lethal in its precision, not harmful, but undeniable. It cuts through confusion. It slices through manipulation. It ends games before they begin. And that is why the smartest thing you ever did was stop announcing your intentions and start executing them. You learn that emotional control is a superpower. You learn that staying calm when others panic gives you an edge. You learn that listening more than speaking reveals everything you need to know. And once you learn these things, the game changed forever. They thought they were ahead because they were moving fast, but speed without direction leads nowhere. You move slow with purpose, and purpose always arrives. This is why when the dust settled, you were standing where you intended to be while they were still trying to understand what happened. This is the cost of being underestimated. You become unstoppable because no one prepares for you. No one guards against you. No one sees you as a threat until it is too late. And by then, you are no longer competing. You are operating on a different level entirely. Your mind became a quiet battlefield where discipline defeated impulse, where logic overcame emotion, where patience outlasted chaos. And the winner was not just a move, but a mindset, one that will continue to carry you forward long after this moment. They will call your last move genius because it makes them uncomfortable to admit it was inevitable. It was the result of consistency, awareness, and control traits they never developed because they were too busy reacting to the noise around them. Remember this feeling, not as pride, but as confirmation. Confirmation that silence works, that patience pays, that intelligence, when combined with discipline, becomes unstoppable. Do not grow careless now. Do not seek recognition. Now stay sharp, stay grounded, stay observant, because the same qualities that brought you here will take you further than you can imagine. You are not done. You are just getting started, and the best part is they still have no idea how far ahead you really are. You keep moving the same way, silent, focused, deliberate, because you already learned the danger of announcing growth too early. You understand that when people know your next step, they begin planning against it, so you let results speak instead of promises and outcomes replace explanations. This is not secrecy born from fear. This is strategy born from experience. You saw what happens when too many eyes watch unfinished work, so you learn to build in private and reveal only when it is complete. The deeper truth is this: your mind changed before your circumstances ever did. You stopped seeking comfort in familiarity and started finding strength in solitude. You spent time alone, not because you were lonely, but because you were sharpening yourself. You questioned your habits, your reactions, your emotional triggers, and you rebuilt them one by one. This internal work is invisible to most people, but it is the foundation of everything they now struggle to understand about you. You noticed how easily people reveal themselves when they think they are in control, how confidence turns into carelessness, how power exposes character, and instead of judging, you observed. Instead of reacting, you adapted. You understood that knowledge is not what you know, but what you can predict. And prediction gives you leverage without force, without noise, without conflict. Your restraint confused them because they live in a world of instant response. They speak before thinking. They act before planning. They chase short victories and call it success. You chose a longer road, one that required discipline and sacrifice, one that demanded you sit with discomfort while others escaped it, and that decision quietly separated you from the crowd, long before anyone noticed. You realized that intelligence is not just mental speed, but emotional balance, knowing when not to engage, knowing when silence protects more than words, knowing when walking away preserves power. You stopped giving energy to situations designed to drain you and redirected that focus into growth skill and awareness. And that redirection changed your trajectory completely. They tried to read you using outdated versions of who you were. They remembered the old reactions, the old patterns, the old limits. But you were no longer operating from that place. You evolved, while they assumed you stayed the same. And that assumption became their blind spot, because people defend against what they expect, not what has already changed. Your presence now carries weight because it is grounded. You do not rush approval. You do not chase validation. You do not argue your worth. You let consistency prove it. You let progress define it. And that calm certainty unsettles those who rely on chaos to feel powerful, because they cannot manipulate what does not react. You learned that every environment teaches you something if you pay attention. Pressure taught you control. Loss taught you focus. Disappointment taught you precision and silence, taught you clarity. You turned every experience into data, every mistake into instruction, every setback into refinement. And slowly, methodically, you build a version of yourself that no longer breaks under observation. They cannot process how you knew because they never realized you were watching. When they were performing, they were busy projecting images while you were studying behavior. They were busy winning moments while you were planning outcomes. And by the time they noticed the shift, the balance had already moved in your favor. You stopped explaining your silence because you understood. It was not empty. It was loaded with intention. You stopped justifying your distance because you knew proximity without respect is a liability. You stopped overgiving because you realized access must be earned, and those boundaries did not make you colder. They made you stronger, clearer, and harder to misread. This level of awareness is not accidental. It is trained. It is built through repetition, through reflection, through choosing logic over impulse, again and again. Even when emotion demanded release, you held it. Even when reaction felt justified, you paused, and that pause became your advantage. Because in that space between stimulus and response, you gain control. They will try to analyze your success backwards, trying to find a single moment, a single trick, a single move that explains it. But there is no shortcut explanation. There is only accumulation, small, disciplined choices, stacking over time, unseen, uncelebrated until they become undeniable. And when that moment arrives, it looks like genius to those who ignored the process. Your last move was genius because it was aligned with who you became, not who you pretended to be. It was calm because you are calm. It was precise because you are precise. It was final because you do not move without certainty. And that certainty comes from knowing yourself, knowing your limits, and knowing exactly how far you can go without losing control. You are not fueled by anger. You are fueled by clarity. Anger burns fast and fades. Clarity endures. Anger reacts. Clarity directs. And that difference defines everything about how you operate. Now, you do not need to prove. You need to progress. And progress does not require an audience. They will speak about you in fragments because they never had full access. They will describe you as distant, calculating, quiet, intense, because those are the words people use when they cannot reach someone anymore. And that distance is not arrogance. It is protection of focus, protection of momentum, protection of the future you are building. You understand now that power is not domination. It is independence. It is the ability to move without permission, to decide without pressure, to stand firm without noise. And that power unsettles those who rely on control because it cannot be taken. It can only be earned, and you earned it through discipline. Every step forward now feels lighter because you are no longer carrying unnecessary weight, expectations that were not yours, emotions that were not productive, relationships that were not aligned. You trimmed everything that slowed you down, and what remains is sharp, efficient, and intentional. They underestimated you once, and that was enough, because underestimation creates space. Space to grow, space to plan, space to execute without resistance. And you used that space wisely. You did not waste it, proving points. You invested it, building leverage, and leverage, once built, does not need defending. You are aware that staying ahead requires continued restraint. continued observation, continued growth. This is not a finish line. It is a standard, and you hold yourself to it quietly, consistently, without announcement, because you know mastery is maintained, not achieved. Once, let them wonder, let them replay, let them guess. You do not owe clarity to those who never listened. You do not owe access to those who underestimated you. And you do not owe explanations for growth that cost you discipline, focus, and sacrifice. Stay sharp, stay silent, stay intentional, because the same mind that saw every move before it happened will see every opportunity before it appears. And that is how you continue winning, without noise, without conflict, without ever needing to explain why your last move was genius. You keep choosing awareness over noise because you understand now that attention is a currency, and most people spend it carelessly. You invest it deliberately. You watch how rooms change when you enter, how conversations shift, how people reveal tension when they realize you are not easily influenced. This awareness does not inflate your ego. It sharpens your restraint because you know influence grows stronger when it is unforced. You learn that the real battle was never external. It was internal, mastering impulse, mastering fear, mastering the urge to respond immediately, mastering the temptation to explain yourself, mastering the desire to be understood by those who never tried to understand you. This internal victory is what made everything else inevitable, because once you control yourself, the environment loses its power over you. You started recognizing timing as an art, not a coincidence. Knowing when to move matters more than how fast you move. Knowing when to wait matters more than how much you want to act. You trained yourself to sit with uncertainty while others rushed toward false clarity, and that patience allowed truth to surface naturally, without interrogation, without pressure. They mistook your stillness for indecision because they equate motion with progress. You knew better. You knew that clarity comes before action, and that action without clarity creates damage. You refused to move until your mind aligned with your purpose. And when that alignment happened, there was no hesitation, only execution. Your thinking became layered. You no longer saw situations as single events, but as sequences. You understood that every action creates a reaction, and every reaction reveals information. You use that information to adjust, not emotionally but strategically, and that adaptability is what kept you ahead while others remained stuck, defending outdated positions. You stopped needing to be seen as smart because you realized intelligence speaks through outcomes, not labels. You let others take credit. You let others feel ahead. You let others feel secure, because security breeds carelessness, and carelessness reveals everything. This was never manipulation. This was observation, paired with discipline. You noticed how quickly people underestimate what they cannot read. They rely on familiarity patterns, tone, volume, expression. When those signals are absent, they become uneasy, and that unease makes them predictable. Predictable in speech, predictable in behavior, predictable in mistakes. And predictability is the opposite of power. You became comfortable being misunderstood because you understood yourself. You no longer corrected narratives because narratives do not control outcomes. Actions do. You focused on positioning, not perception. And that focus quietly rewrote the balance without debate. Your silence became intentional, not withdrawn, not passive, but deliberate. A filter, not a wall. You allowed information in but released very little out. And that asymmetry gave you clarity. While others operated on assumption, you operated on knowledge. They questioned your calm in moments where reaction was expected. They waited for emotion where logic was required. They searched for weakness where discipline had replaced it. And every time you did not respond as expected, their confidence eroded slightly, because unpredictability unsettles those who rely on control. You learn that power does not announce itself. It settles in, it becomes steady, it becomes unshakable, it becomes boring to those addicted to drama, but unstoppable. Ah, friends, gather close, for today we talk about regret. Not the fleeting kind, not the type you brush off with a laugh and a shrug, but the kind that lingers, the kind that becomes a shadow following you everywhere, whispering reminders of the things you could have done, should have done, the things you left unsaid, the actions you never took. We talk about the weight of decisions made and paths chosen. Regret, my friends, is not something that can be simply erased with time or with a change of scenery. It festers, it grows, it transforms, it becomes a part of you, woven into the fabric of your being. And today, I will talk about a regret so deep, so consuming, that it defines not just the past, but the future. Your departure, your leaving, was the ultimate plot twist they never saw coming. You see, most people live their lives thinking that their presence is a constant, a given. They believe they are the center of the story, the protagonist in the narrative of their own life, and more often than not, the lives of others. They walk through their days with an unspoken sense of entitlement, assuming that the world revolves around them, that they have the luxury of time, that they will always be there, always present, always available. But you shattered that illusion. You showed them the truth they were too blind to see, the truth that no one is irreplaceable, the truth that every story has an end, and sometimes the end comes when no one expects it. You were the one who slipped away, quietly, subtly, leaving behind a void too vast to fill. And the shock of your departure, the silence that followed, reverberated through every life you touched. It left them reeling, scrambling for meaning, trying to understand how they could have missed the signs, how they could have overlooked the weight of your absence. They thought they had time. They thought you were theirs to hold on to forever. But you proved them wrong. You proved that time waits for no one, that the end comes without warning, without mercy. You proved that the most powerful thing you can do is leave, and leave without looking back. In their eyes, you were the dependable one, the one who would always be there when the chips were down, the one who would pick up the pieces when everything else fell apart. They took you for granted, they leaned on you, they expected you to always be the constant in their chaotic world. But you had other plans. You knew that the greatest power lies not in staying, not in enduring, not in being the rock for others to cling to. No, the greatest power lies in walking away, in choosing yourself, in recognizing that your worth is not defined by how much you can give to others, but by how much you choose to keep for yourself. Your departure was not just an exit from a place or a group of people, it was a declaration, a bold statement that you are not bound by anyone's expectations, not bound by anyone's needs, not bound by anyone's demands. You were the ultimate plot twist. You were the one who refused to be trapped in someone else's story. They didn't see it coming. They never expected you to walk away. They thought you would always be there, waiting in the wings, ready to step in and play the role they assigned you. But you refused to be anyone's second choice. You refused to be a supporting character in someone else's drama. And when you left, when you disappeared from their lives, it was as if the entire script collapsed. The story they had been writing, the story they had imagined with you in it, came to an abrupt halt, and they were left standing in the ruins of their own expectations, unsure of what to do with the empty space you left behind. Do not let anyone tell you that you are selfish for leaving. Do not let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing your own path, for prioritizing your own happiness, your own peace. You owe no one an explanation for your departure. You owe no one an apology for making the choice that was best for you. People will always try to guilt you, always try to manipulate you into staying where you do not belong, into continuing to give when you have nothing left to offer. But the truth is, they were never entitled to you. They were never entitled to your time, your energy, your presence. You owe nothing to those who only see you as a means to an end, who only value you for what you can do for them. The moment you realize your own worth, the moment you stop allowing others to define you, you unlock the power to make decisions that are yours and yours alone. And when you walked away, when you chose yourself over them, that was your moment of power. That was your declaration of independence. And don't mistake this for bitterness. Don't mistake this for anger. No, this is not about resentment or vengeance. This is about self-preservation. This is about recognizing that you are more than just a cog in someone else's machine. You are not a tool for others to use when they need you, and you are not a convenience that can be called upon when it suits them. Your worth is not defined by how much you can give, how much you can sacrifice, how much you can endure. Your worth is defined by your choices, by your ability to walk away when you know you deserve more, when you know you can give more to yourself than you can ever give to anyone else. You proved that you are not a lifeline to be clung to, not a placeholder to be kept on standby. You are a force, a power, a storm that cannot be tamed. Let them feel the weight of your absence. Let them sit with the emptiness you left behind. Let them wrestle with the regret, the questions, the what-ifs. It is not your responsibility to make them feel better. It is not your burden to bear. Their regret is their own to deal with, just as your decision was yours. You gave them the gift of seeing their own weakness, their own dependence on you, and that gift will haunt them forever. They will forever wonder if they could have done more, said more, been more. But that is not your problem anymore. You did not leave them out of spite. You did not leave them because you hated them. You left because you loved yourself more. You left because you realized that your life is your own, and no one else gets to write your story for you. Now, as you stand at the crossroads of your future, remember this. They will try to make you feel guilty for leaving. They will try to make you believe that you have abandoned them, that you are the one in the wrong. But deep down, they know the truth. They know that your departure was not a mistake. They know that you did what they could never do, that you made the choice they were too afraid to make. And when the dust settles, when the emotions cool, when the time passes, they will come to understand that you were the one who had the courage to walk away. You were the one who saw beyond the immediate moment, who understood that staying would have been your undoing. They will come to realize that your departure was the ultimate plot twist they never saw coming, and they will regret, perhaps for the rest of their lives, not seeing it sooner. So, stand tall, walk proudly, hold your head high. You are not a villain. You are not the one who did wrong. You are the one who chose to take control of your own life. You are the one who decided that your happiness, your peace, and your future mattered more than anyone else's expectations. And that, my friends, is the most powerful thing you can ever do. As they struggle with the weight of your absence, remember this. Your departure was not just an ending. It was a new beginning, a beginning of a life that is entirely yours to shape, to mold, to live on your terms. And while they may never truly understand why you left, you know that it was the right decision. It was the plot twist that had to happen, the change in direction that was necessary for your own story to unfold. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Let them try to piece together the puzzle. of your departure. Because in the end, you are the one who holds the power, the one who controls the narrative. And when they finally accept it, when they finally realize that they had no right to keep you in their story, it will be too late. You will be long gone, living a life they could never have imagined, thriving in a world they were never part of. You will have become the person they never saw coming. And that, my friends, is the ultimate revenge. It is not in anger, it is not in bitterness, but in the simple fact that you chose yourself, that you chose to write your own story, and that you walked away when they thought you never would. And so, as we conclude this chapter, remember, the greatest plot twist is not in the ones who leave, but in the ones who choose to live life on their own terms. Are the ones who understand that the world is not a prison, not a place meant to cage their dreams and aspirations. These are the people who look at the chains of expectation, the demands of others, and the relentless pressure to conform, and they simply walk away. They step out of the lines drawn for them, leaving behind a trail of questions, of confusion, and perhaps even of anger. But in their hearts, they know one thing. The only way to live a life that is truly worth living is to carve your own path, to define your own purpose, and to walk in the direction that calls to you, not the one that others try to push you toward. The truth is, those who choose to live life on their own terms are the rarest breed. They are the ones who are not afraid to stand alone, to face the uncertainty of the unknown, to leap into the void of possibility without the guarantee of safety. And, oh, how the world fears them, how others fear them, because their very existence challenges the status quo, threatens the idea that we must all fall in line, that we must all follow the rules, the unwritten laws that govern society. The ones who choose to live on their own terms are the ones who look at the world with defiance, who refuse to bow to the pressure of society's expectations. But the road is not easy. It is never easy. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the weight of the choices you've made feels unbearable, when the fear of regret threatens to undo all that you've fought for, when you take the step to leave, when you make the decision to break away from the life that others have planned for you. There will always be that moment when you question whether you've done the right thing. There will be the nagging voice in the back of your mind telling you that you should have stayed, that you should have endured, that you should have sacrificed just a little bit more. But let me tell you something. That voice is not your own. It is the voice of the world, of society, of those who are too afraid to make the choices you've made. It is the voice of those who cannot imagine a life outside of the paths that have been laid out for them. The voice of those who cling to the comfort of the known, even if it means sacrificing their soul in the process. You, my friends, are different. You have broken free from the chains. You have chosen to live by your own rules, to shape your own future, to live a life that is authentic to you. And yes, there will be times when you will face the consequences of your decision. There will be moments when others will question you, criticize you, and even attempt to make you feel guilty for daring to choose yourself over them. They will say you're selfish, that you've abandoned them, that you've been callous in your decision to walk away. But remember this, their judgment comes from a place of fear, a place of their own insecurity, their inability to understand the strength it takes to choose yourself over the comfort of others. You are not selfish for taking the steps necessary for your own well-being. You are not wrong for recognizing that your life, your happiness, and your future are yours to determine. The ones who will judge you are the ones who will never understand the depth of what it means to walk away, to stand on your own, to live a life that is yours and yours alone. And in this life, the greatest thing you can do is choose yourself. When you choose yourself, you choose freedom. You choose the ability to shape your world without the influence of those who try to control it. You choose the power to redefine success on your own terms, to break free from the expectations that limit you, and to step into your greatness. When you choose yourself, you free yourself from the tyranny of others' opinions, from the crushing weight of approval seeking, from the endless cycle of living to please others. The world may not understand your decision. They may never understand why you left, why you chose to walk away when it seemed like you had everything to gain by staying. But here's the thing, they don't need to understand. Their understanding is irrelevant to the truth of your journey. What matters is that you understand. What matters is that you know in your heart that this was the right choice for you. That the path you chose, no matter how difficult, no matter how lonely, was the only path that would lead you to the person you are meant to be. You did not choose to leave for anyone else's benefit. You did it because you recognized that your soul was yearning for more, that your spirit could not be confined to the life others expected of you. And in doing so, you proved something that no one can take away from you. You proved that you are strong enough to take control of your own life, to claim your own story. Now, when you walk away, when you make the choice to leave behind what no longer serves you, there is a powerful realization that you must come to. Your departure is not the end of your story. It is the beginning. It is the start of a new chapter, one that is yours to write. The world may look at you and see someone who has given up, someone who has failed, someone who has chosen the hard road. But what they fail to see is that you have chosen to live authentically, to live in a way that aligns with your deepest values and desires. What they fail to see is that your departure was not a retreat, but a bold step forward into the life you are meant to live. And that, my friends, is what makes your decision so powerful. Your departure was the ultimate plot twist, not because it shocked others, but because it marked the moment when you took back control of your life. It was the moment when you decided that your story was no longer going to be dictated by the expectations of others. It was the moment when you chose to be the author of your own narrative, to take the pen in your hand and write the ending that you deserve. When you walk away, the world will try to convince you that you've made a mistake, that you've abandoned what could have been. They will try to make you doubt yourself, to second-guess your decision, to wonder if you did the right thing. But deep down, you will know the truth. You will know that this was the only choice that could have set you free, the only choice that could have given you the chance to live the life you were meant to live. The world may not understand it now, but in time, they will come to see the strength in your decision. They will see that your departure was not a sign of weakness, but of extraordinary courage. They will realize that you were never meant to stay, that your true power was always in your ability to leave when everyone else thought you would stay. And so, I say to you, do not fear the moment when you must leave, when you must break away from the lives of others, from the expectations of the world, from the chains that bind you. Because in that moment, you will realize that you are not walking away from something. You are walking toward everything you were always meant to be. You are stepping into a future that is entirely yours to create. And in that creation, you will find the peace and fulfillment that only comes when you live life on your own terms. Your departure was the ultimate plot twist they never saw coming. And for that reason, it is the most powerful thing you could have ever done. Let them wonder. Let them question. Let them regret. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is that you chose yourself. You chose the road less traveled. You chose freedom. You chose to live life on your own terms. And that, my friends, is a choice that will never be regretted. When you choose yourself, when you prioritize your needs and desires above the expectations of others, you are stepping into a realm where regret cannot touch you. It may seem counterintuitive to some, especially those who live their lives trying to meet the demands of the world, trying to please everyone else. The idea of walking away, of breaking free, is often painted as something selfish, something to be ashamed of. But those who understand the true power of this decision, those who have walked that lonely, uncertain road, know that it is anything but selfish. It is the most self-loving act you could ever perform. To walk away from what no longer serves you is to declare your worth. It is to say, in no uncertain terms, that you understand your value, that you know that your peace, your happiness, your freedom are sacred, and you will no longer allow anything or anyone to diminish that. The world will often try to convince you that you are selfish for doing this, but in reality, it is the highest form of self-care, the deepest act of self-respect. People who are willing to give their energy, time, and love to others at the cost of their own well-being are often the ones who feel the deepest regret later. They sacrifice their peace, their joy, their sense of self for the approval of others, for the comfort of those who would rather keep them in their prescribed roles, in their carefully constructed lives. But you have broken that cycle. You have chosen to live authentically, to be true to your own soul. That, my friends, is a choice that will never be regretted because it aligns with the deepest part of you, the part that knows, deep down, that you were never meant to live in the shadows of others, never meant to hide behind the expectations, the obligations, the roles that others have placed upon you. This decision, the decision to choose yourself, is an act of rebellion against the social programming that tells us that our value lies in what we can give to others. The truth is, your value lies in what you give to yourself, the space to breathe, the freedom to explore, the right to live life on your own terms. This is not just an act of leaving, this is an act of creation. You are creating the life that aligns with your truest self, the life that will fulfill you, the life that will nourish your spirit. Yes, there will be those who will try to make you doubt your decision. There will be people who, from their own place of insecurity and fear, will try to make you believe that you are wrong for walking away, for choosing a path that goes against the grain of what is expected. They will call you selfish, they will call you heartless, and they will try to make you feel guilty for taking control of your own narrative. But the truth is, these judgments are born from their own fear, their own inability to make the same choice. They will never understand the strength it takes to walk away from what is comfortable, to leave behind what everyone else thinks is right, just so you can live a life that is authentic to you. You must remember, their judgment of you is irrelevant to your journey. Their opinions, their criticisms, their attempts to make you feel guilty or wrong are just noise. They come from a place of their own limitations, from the part of them that wishes they could have the courage to do what you've done. In their eyes, your decision is incomprehensible because they have never dared to step outside of their comfort zones, never dared to look beyond the narrow confines of their own world. They stay, clinging to what is safe, what is familiar, and in doing so, they trap themselves in a cage of their own making. But you've chosen to break free. You've chosen to live life on your own terms, to take the risks that come with that decision, and to embrace the uncertainty of a future that is not dictated by anyone else. And this, my friends, is not something to be ashamed of. It is the boldest, most empowering choice you can make. There is something uniquely powerful about choosing to walk away when everyone else expects you to stay, about choosing to leave behind the familiar, the comfortable, the known. It is in those moments when you take that step into the unknown that you are showing the world and yourself what you are truly made of. The road ahead is never easy. It is never guaranteed, but it is yours, and that is the most beautiful part of it all. This is not to say that the path you've chosen is without pain, without struggle. When you break free from the expectations and the lives that others have tried to impose upon you, there will be moments of doubt, moments of loneliness, and moments of fear. There will be times when you look back, when you wonder if you've made the right choice. You may even question yourself, wonder if you've given up too soon, if there was something you could have done differently. But these moments of doubt are fleeting. They are the tests that life sends your way to see if you are truly committed to your path, to your own happiness, to your own truth. And each time you push through these moments, each time you rise above the fear and the uncertainty, you become stronger. You become more certain of who you are and what you deserve. The truth is, there is no guarantee that the path you've chosen will be easy, but there is one thing that is certain. It will be worth it. It will be worth it because it is your path. It is the path that you have chosen for yourself, the path that aligns with your deepest desires and your true self. And when you choose this path, when you walk it with conviction and courage, you will find a sense of peace and fulfillment that will surpass anything you could have ever imagined. This peace, this contentment, is not found in the approval of others. It is not found in conforming to the expectations of the world. It is found in the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. So yes, when you choose to walk away, when you choose to live life on your own terms, you may face opposition. You may face confusion, misunderstanding, and even judgment. But you must remain firm in your conviction. You must hold on to the truth that this choice is yours and yours alone. You are not obligated to live your life according to the rules set by others. You are not obligated to stay in places that no longer serve you. You are not obligated to fulfill roles that were never meant for you. You are the author of your own story, and you get to decide how it unfolds. The world may try to make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. They will try to tell you that you are abandoning them, that you are selfish for thinking about your own happiness and well-being. But in reality, it is only when you choose yourself that you can truly give to others. It is only when you fill your own cup that you can pour into the lives of those around you. It is only when you are living authentically, when you are living in alignment with your truth, that you can show up fully for the people you care about. There will be times when the world, the people in your life, and even your own inner voice will try to convince you that leaving, that walking away is a mistake. They will try to make you believe that your decision is too bold, too radical, too risky. But let me tell you something. The greatest regrets are not born from the decisions we make to leave. The greatest regrets are born from the decisions we make to stay when we know we should go. The greatest regrets come from the moments when we sacrifice our own happiness and peace for the comfort of others. The greatest regrets come from the times when we live for someone else's expectations, not for our own dreams. And so, you must remember this. Your departure is not a mistake. It is not a failure. It is not something you will regret. It is the most powerful choice you could have ever made because it is the choice that finally allows you to be true to yourself. It is the choice that finally gives you the freedom to live the life you were always meant to live. And that is something that no one, no matter how hard they try, can take away from you. You have chosen yourself. And that, my friends, is a choice that will never be regretted. It will be the choice that propels you into the life you deserve. It will be the choice that sets you free. It will be the choice that allows you to stand tall, to walk proudly, and to embrace the future with open arms. Because in the end, there is nothing more powerful, more liberating, than living life on your own terms. And once you make that choice, once you step into your own power, you will never look back, and you will never regret it. In conclusion, the decision to walk away, to choose yourself over the expectations and demands of others, is not just an act of rebellion, it is an act of profound self-respect, of courage, and of liberation. It is the ultimate plot twist in a world that often tries to define who you should be, how you should live, and what you should value. When you make the choice to leave behind what no longer serves you, when you step into the unknown with nothing but your own truth to guide you, you are not running away from something. You are running toward everything you've always been meant to become. Yes, there will be challenges, there will be doubts, and there will be moments when you question whether you made the right decision. But remember this, no decision that leads you closer to your authentic self can ever be truly wrong. You will find peace, joy, and fulfillment, not in the approval of others, but in the quiet certainty that you are living a life that is true to who you are, not what the world expects you to be. Your departure, your bold step into the unknown, is not a mistake. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one that you write for yourself. It is the most powerful choice you could make because it allows you to finally live on your own terms, to be free from the chains of others' expectations, and to embrace a future that is full of possibility. You have chosen to be the author of your own story, to define success on your own terms, and to pursue a life that reflects your deepest desires. When you look back, you will not regret the decision to walk away, because it was not a retreat. It was a declaration of your strength, your worth, and your right to live fully and authentically. You will not regret choosing yourself, because it is the most important thing you can do. In the end, living for anyone else is never enough. But living for yourself, choosing yourself over the noise of the world, will lead you to the life you've always dreamed of. So stand tall, be proud of the choices you've made, and know that your departure, your refusal to conform, your decision to live by your own rules will never be something you regret. It will be the greatest decision of your life, because it is the moment when you truly began to live. And as you walk that path, you will discover a peace that comes only to those who dare to be themselves. A peace that will always remind you that the choice you made to walk away and choose yourself was not just the ultimate plot twist. It was the most powerful, liberating, and freeing thing you could ever do. And it is a choice you will never regret.